This is everything you need to know about children's picture books. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of actually starting to write your story, there's a couple of mistakes I want you to avoid if you're writing a story with a lesson. See, if I ask you what your story is about, I don't want your answer to be, it's about insert virtue here. See, a book about believing in yourself will make adults nod sagely and say, oh, that must be good literature. But a book about a little engine who's desperately trying to pull a train full of toys over the mountain, that will make children go, oh, I want to read that one. It's also important to make sure that the story you're telling does actually project the lesson you intend. See, it's really easy to get caught up in one narrative only to discover that you've unintentionally told another. Take the book Benji, the Bad Day, and Me. It's a lovely story about a grade school boy and the bond he has with his autistic brother. But on the way to that lesson, the story runs into some unintended consequences. Sammy comes home after having a bad day at school and is told to be quiet and to tiptoe because Benji had a bad day at school. And Sammy narrates his frustration that nobody seems to care if he had a bad day, and he thinks about how many days he has to sacrifice his desires and feelings for Benji's. In the oh no moment, Sammy spills his milk at the kitchen table and he winds up sitting alone crying. And it's Benji who comes and comforts him the best way he knows how, and their bond is strengthened. However, the unintended problem with this story lies in Sammy's relationship with his mother. See, the mother never has a positive interaction with just Sammy. She doesn't ask him how his day was. She doesn't express concern that he's drenched when he comes home. She doesn't regret that he can't take karate lessons, and she doesn't take any notice at all of his breakdown at the table. While the story may set out to show the powerful bond between siblings, it has the unintended consequences of teaching the older sibling that his needs, his feelings, and his desires are secondary, and it's his responsibility to sacrifice them for his brother. On a lighter note, we can talk about Rainbow Fish, which is many people's favorite book about sharing, but I personally get frustrated with how the author goes about it. See, Rainbow Fish's flaw isn't that he's greedy, it's that he's proud. When the little blue fish asks for a scale, Rainbow Fish isn't wrong for not sharing, he's wrong for being unkind. And in the end, the other fish become his friends only after Rainbow Fish gives away his scales. So I feel like the unintended consequence of a book that was meant to be about sharing is that you have to give away what's yours in order for others to like you. Picture books are pesky creatures, and it is easy to overlook an unintended plot point. But children are shrewd, intelligent little humans, and they will pick up on nuance that you never even noticed. And this is one reason why it's so important to learn to craft good picture books. Because while a good picture book can have lasting positive impact, a poorly crafted one can unfortunately have the opposite effect.